These people are mad that you aren't upset about how cold they're treating you. It's because they've exposed themselves to be a hater and you don't care. See, people who expect for you to be upset simply because they're being cold and distant towards you, simply because now they're acting funny, now they're showing their jealousy and envy, you already knew that it was there, but the circumstances, the situation had to change for their true nature, their true character of being a hater to really show itself. You understood that the moment your life changed, they would change. You understood that money changes things, that life circumstances that get better for you were going to change your friendship, were going to change your relationship. You're not surprised that now they're being distant or being cold towards you. You're not surprised that now they're acting like they never knew you, or like you're not really friends, or like they really don't mess with you like that. You're not surprised that they're treating you like an afterthought because you already knew that deep down they were a hater and they're upset. They want you to like beg for their attention, beg for their affection, beg for their validation, but you simply moved on. So these people are upset because you already knew they were a hater, but they started playing mind games, trying to treat you coldly, putting distance between you two, trying to act like, you should feel guilty for being blessed, for feeling good, for doing better, for leveling up financially. You recognize that money does change things. And I say that because two things you can guarantee when you're dealing with someone who suddenly gets very cold and they're mad because you're not affected by the fact that they're distancing themselves from you because they're a hater. The moment you start doing better financially, the moment you start making more money, a lot of people will become jealous and envious of you. There will be people who get very insecure in your presence, and it's because they perceive you as somehow being better off than they are now that you're making more money. One of the number one things, if not the number one thing, that a lot of people get jealous of is the fact that other people have more money or more financial success than they do. See, you understand that the moment your finances got better, these people were going to start acting different. They were used to you being the one who always needed help with something, always needed a handout, always needed to lend me a few dollars. And now you're not that. It's like they liked you better when you were broke. These people act very weird towards you. They act very cold. They're upset because you already knew they was a hater. You just was waiting for your situation to change so that they can show themselves. You were hoping that they didn't reveal themselves to be a hater, but you knew deep down that they would, because they would normally brag about and talk about the things that they were doing, hoping that you would not do the same, hoping that you would never come out of your situation, hoping that they can still be the friend or the family member that gets the opportunity to look down on you. And when that didn't happen for them, they showed themselves to be a hater. People who get jealous and envious of people who have financial success or level up in some way, personal development wise, those people were never your support system. See, these people, they start acting funny towards you the moment your life gets better. Not when it gets worse, when it gets better. You would think that the people who are supposed to be closest to you would actually want to see you succeed. And many people have people in their lives who actually do want to see them succeed. But some people have people in their lives who only like them and appreciate them when they are at the bottom of the barrel. When you are at rock bottom, there are some people who will embrace you. They absolutely adore you. But the moment you start doing better, the moment you get any kind of financial, physical, any kind of success, they start seeing you as a threat. So they start with the mind games. They start with the manipulation tricks. Envy truly likes to punish. So when people start envying your life, they want you to feel bad for your blessings. They want you to feel bad for the work that you put in. They want you to feel bad for being blessed. Instead of celebrating you, or at least just being happy for you like a normal person, or at least respecting and leaving you alone, these people, envious people, they want to punish you. They want you to feel bad for surviving. Feel bad for surviving your situation and coming out on the other side. When people saw you down and now suddenly you're up, they want you to feel bad about overcoming that situation. Because to some people, they're only comfortable with you as long as you are in the trenches. You see, these people, when they start seeing you do better, they get distant and they get cold. They don't have the same energy for you that they used to have when you were going through it. It's because you going through it made them feel comfortable about their situation. You constantly going through things allowed them to take their eyes off of their own situation and start pitying you. But see, now that you're doing better, these people are being very cold and very distant towards you. It's like you don't even really know them like that. And you can tell when the energy is growing cold towards someone and the envy and jealousy is there, even though it might be a little hidden, because the energy feels very heavy. You always feel tension when you go into the presence of this person. Normal conversation that you would have had with them before, now they feel different. It's like when you were working, and I'm just using this as an example, when you were working at, let's say, Walmart. Walmart pays pretty good from what I hear. But Walmart back in the day, like 10 years ago. Let's say you were working at Walmart. And during that time, they would talk to you and it's like, yeah, talk about your job, talk about how this is happening and how you're trying to get a promotion. But now you're working at a Fortune 500 company and you're making 6 figures a year. You can't really talk to them about work. They don't even ask you how was your day anymore because they don't want to hear it because now you're at a different level. It's like when you were at Walmart, they were comfortable talking to you about that. But now you're at the top of your game at this big Fortune 500 company. You're working for Google, you're working for YouTube, you're working whatever. And they're like, I don't want to know. It's like, even if you subtly bring it up because you're just talking about things you would have normally talked to them about, it's different. These people actually want you to feel guilty because you are on the up, because you are doing better, because you're being blessed. Envy always wants to punish you. Envy wants you to feel bad for your blessings, for doing better. See, these people, when you start getting better and doing better in life, they get distant and grow cold towards you. And they want to make sure that you know that things have changed by the energy in the room. These people, normally when they see you, they might come in and they're just got the gift for gab. They just talk, telling you all about their life. They want to hear all about you. But when your life gets a little bit too good, where they can't handle it, and your life, in your opinion, might be just the basic thing that every adult should be doing or can do. But to an envious person, when a person wants you to feel bad about your blessings, feel bad about the work that you've done, they start trying to create tension, create static between you two. See, they get cold and distant, and they want you to be in a position of having to say to them, what's wrong? What's wrong? You're acting different. Did I do something? Is something wrong? That's a lot of wasted energy by a person who wants to manipulate you because they are envious of what you're doing. People who get passive aggressive when they're envious of what you have going on, they start acting funny towards you, as they say, but really it's nothing more than being cold and distant. It's because they're insecure in your presence. It's because your life has changed so much. Now they're starting to feel insecure around you. You're still the same person. You're just doing different things. You have gotten better in different areas, but your personality, your character, all of that could still be the same. But because they know your lifestyle has changed, because they know the things that you're going after, the things that you want for your life has changed, it's too much. They can't handle it. I can handle Walmart Barbara, but I cannot handle CEO Barbara. It's too much. I can't handle her. Their insecurity overwhelms them and they get cold. They get distant. That's why you'll call them on the phone and conversations get extremely short. How are you doing? Normally you could have been on the phone with them for like an hour, half an hour, 45 minutes. How are you doing? Everything's good. Now you call them, hello. Hey, how you doing? How's everything? I'm just checking in, see how you doing. I'm fine, same old, how you doing? I'm good, work and everything. Hold on a minute. Somebody at my door, I gotta go. I'll call you back. Click. People get very cold and very distant when you get different. When they start envying your life and envying the moves that you're making, don't be surprised how cold and distant they get from you. And that's why, even though I do not believe in being that kind of person that's like, you associate with people according to your class and all of that stuff. No, I'm a follower of the Lord. I'm a follower of Jesus. I do not believe in that. However, in order to protect yourself from jealous, envious people, and when you sense that the energy is starting to be off, like people really envy the fact that God is blessing you, and they start mistreating you and being cold and distant and acting weird towards you, I'm a firm believer in protecting your spirit and protecting your peace. And nobody has time to try to fake nice with anybody. And that's really what happens when people want you to feel bad about how your life has shifted and gotten better. When people start getting cold and distant towards you just because you're doing better in life, you always find yourself in a position where now you're around a person who is a performer, and they're going to force you to be a performer. So what was once genuine and authentic is no longer. Now it's like you have to act like you're putting on. It's like it becomes increasingly harder to be around people who envy where you are in your life right now. And you know this because, as I said, how they treat you. They get very cold, they get very distant, and it's almost like they want you to feel bad for whatever it is you're doing. As long as you're not trying to grab at anything better, people will love you. This is not for all people. This is for a specific type of people. For people who get jealous and envious of the blessings, of the work, of the lives of other people, when they start getting cold and distant towards you, you can tell that it's something that has changed on the inside of them. And it's nothing that you've done. It's nothing that you've done directly to them. It's because they feel unfulfilled in their own lives. And as I have said before, many of us have experienced insecurity. Many of us have experienced not feeling like we are where we want to be. And we see other people being blessed and we're like, why not me? What's going on? I don't understand. But there are some people that don't leave it at that. They don't start doing the work. They don't get together with God and ask, help me to be better. They look at the person and say, you're my enemy. I'm going to start sabotaging you. I'm going to start putting you down. I'm going to start treating you with a piss poor attitude because I feel bad about me. That's the problem. People grow cold and distant towards you, and they expect for you to be so upset, so distraught, because now they're, distancing themselves from you. And you could care less because you know the energy of which it's coming from. You know that it's coming from a place of envy, from a place of jealousy. And if those people were really for you, they wouldn't act that way towards you. Human nature, if you're looking for something, you want something and somebody else gets it, it can be surprising. Like, oh man, I wanted to get a house and wow, they got a house. So, okay, my blessing is on the way. But some people are not like that. So they get cold, they get distant, and they want you to feel bad. Survivor's guilt is a real thing. And people envy people who are survivors. This is a little bit of a sidebar, but people tend to envy those who are survivors. What do I mean by that? If you are a woman or a person who people did not expect to be successful in any stretch of the imagination, maybe you were a woman or a person that went through hard times. Maybe you always struggled financially. Maybe you didn't come from the best surroundings or the best background. Maybe, you just had a hard life. Things just were typically hard for you. When you start being blessed and you start doing different things to line up with the life that you want, and you start succeeding in that, there will be people who will expect for you to feel guilty because you've overcome it. It's like they only got used to seeing one version of you, and that's the version they got comfortable with. And because this version of you that is not begging for anything, that is not worried about anything, that is not trying to figure out where her next meal is going to come from, or where she's going to lay her head at by the grace of God, they cannot receive it. They're looking at you like you should feel bad because you're doing better than what we ever expected. And that in of itself, when somebody sees you in that way, that says a lot about them. But people, back to the original point, these people grow cold and distant towards you, and they expect for you to be upset. But you're not, because you already knew they was a hater. You already knew that if you start doing better, they were going to distance themselves from you. You already knew that they were going to start mistreating you or treating you like they barely know you. And oftentimes you see those patterns in people of how they are going to treat people who tend to be on a different level than them or tend to be doing a little bit better. You can see it by how they talk about others while you are still close. For me, I pay attention to how people talk about others who are doing better than them or they perceive as doing better than them. If they constantly put people down who have money, if they constantly put people down who, live in good neighborhoods or have nice cars or stuff like that, I'm not saying, classism is not a thing, that some people are, absorbently rich where it's crazy. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your average everyday person that's just trying to do better for themselves, and they done that, and now they're hating. They're acting like a monitoring spirit in that person's life. Every time they see you, they're talking about what so-and-so is doing and what they done got and how they think this and how they think that. If those kind of people talk that way about other people, the moment you start doing better or something they perceive as a threat, you're going to be the next in line to be talked down about or talked to like you're nothing or gossiped about. So these people, they want you to feel guilty about doing better. And they want you to feel bad or feel mad or feel upset that they distance themselves from you, that they're treating you coldly. But you already knew they were a hater. You already knew how they operate. So you're not surprised. You're not surprised. You're not hurt. You know exactly how they move. You wish it wasn't that way, but that's how it is. And it's okay. With new levels comes new devils, as they say. With new aspirations and goals, people who are just miserable in general and don't like seeing other people win or be happy, they typically get frustrated with those of us who actually want better for our lives. And I'm not just talking about financially, because material things, to me, in my opinion, that is the bare minimum. If you're willing to pray, ask God, seek, and then do the work, I believe a lot of things can be attained. Sometimes it's those deeper things that people tend to get jealous of and start treating you funny and getting distant towards you over. Your mindset shift on different things and you just don't go for the okie doke. You start using common sense. You start not going along with every foolish, crazy thing that people want to do, and they start treating you different. You're not willing to walk with your best friend off to her demise. You're willing to tell her the truth in love. People will start treating you funny. People will start getting cold and distant towards you because now you're a voice of reason, and they don't want that. See, some people, they'll start acting different towards you because you're a voice of reason, because you have wisdom and common sense, and they don't want that. Many people look at truth as a threat. Some people look at common sense as a weapon. Some people look at you looking out for them as being intrusive. So they'll start acting funny towards you or treating you different. They'll envy the fact that you're just looking out, and they'll say you're a know-it-all. It's amazing how people, as long as you're not willing to go along with whatever they want you to do or say and be, they start disliking you. Not all people. I feel like I have to say that for the internet because it likes to be confused. I'm talking about a specific type of person. I'm talking about jealous, envious, toxic people. So these people, they put distance between you. They get very cold, very distant. They want you to be upset, but you're not upset because you already knew how they operate. You knew it would only be a matter of time before they showed themselves to be very envious and jealous, and you're okay with it. You distance yourself from them as they distance from you because you maintain your peace and stay unbothered, and you're okay with that. Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comment section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.